Good day, everyone. Now that we have clearly understood the facts, identify the social issues, and recognize the virtues and principles involved, we can now forward to the next part of our discussion. Now we are down to the step 4, which is listing the alternatives. So, creatively determine possible courses of actions for your dilemma. Some will almost immediately be discarded, but generally, the more you list, the greater potential for coming up with a real good one. It will also help you come up with a broader selections of ideas. So step 4 asks you to list all the possible actions you can take in this situation. Scott Ray's step 4 list the alternatives, brainstorms all possible actions you can take in the moral situation. Do not judge or choose yet, just gather options. Include realistic, unlikely, and middle ground choices. A more options, meaning or equals to a better chance of finding the most ethical solution. Like for examples, if a friend asks you to lie, you can lie, you can refuse or stay neutral or encourage honesty. Also, if you see cheating, you can report, confront privately, or you can ignore, or you can do anonymous note. Now let's proceed to the next step, which is the step 5. Compare the alternatives with virtues or principles. So this step eliminates alternatives as they are weighed by the moral principles, which which have a bearing on the case. Potentially, the issue will be resolved here as all the alternatives except one are eliminated. Here you must satisfy all the relevant virtues and values. So at least some of the alternatives will be eliminated, even if you still have to go on the step 6. Often here you have to weight principles and virtues. Make sure you have a good reason for each weighting. So Scott Ray's step 5, weigh alternatives, apply relevant moral principles, virtues, and values to each option. Eliminate alternatives that fail to satisfy key principles. You may end with one best option here or a short list to test in step 6. Weight principles which matter more and record a clear reason for each weighting. So a quick checklist for this is which options respect honesty, justice, care, and responsibility. Which options protect stakeholders' rights and dignity? Are any options clearly harmful or inconsistent with core values? Core virtues? Have you justified why one principle outweighs another? So, example for this is friends ask you to lie. We have an options. You lie, you refused, or encourage honesty or a partial truth. For application of principles, honesty versus loyalty versus compassion. Partial truth and encourage honesty satisfy most. Lying fails honesty. Then eliminate. Now we're down to step 6, which is considering the consequences. So, if principles have not yielded a clear decision, consider the consequences of your alternatives. Take the alternatives and work out the positive and negative consequences of each. Estimate how beneficial each positive and negative consequence is. Some might have greater weight than others. And if principles don't give a clear answer, evaluate the outcomes of each remaining alternative. List the positive and negative consequences for everyone involved. Judge how significant each consequence is. Some matter more than others. Choose the options with the most beneficial and least harmful overall impact. Like, for example, telling the truth. It builds trust but may hurt feelings. While lying, it avoids conflict now but damages trust later. To heavier negative weight eliminated. Now this is the last steps of Scott Frey's 7 step of moral reasoning, which is step 7: make a decision. So ethical decisions really have pain-free solutions. It might be you have to choose the solution with the least number of problems or painful consequences. Even when making a good decision, you have might still lose sleep over it. So choose the option that best fits the moral principles and have the least harmful consequences. Understand that no option may be perfect. Ethical choices often involve some discomfort or loss. Pick the solution with the fewest problems and least pain overall. Even the right decision can still feel difficult, and that's normal. So that's the 7 steps of Scott Ray's moral reasoning. So, in conclusion, Scott Ray's 7 steps of moral reasoning provide a structured and human centered approach to making ethical decisions, especially in complex situations, by guiding us to gather the facts, identify the issues, consider the people involved, explore options, evaluate them through moral principles, and make a decision and test its outcome. So, Ray's model reminds us that morality is not impulsive, it is intentional. The framework encourages thought reflection rather than quick judgment, ensuring that decisions are not only logical but also compassionate and just. Ultimately, Ray's model shows that ethical reasoning requires both clear thinking and deep respect for human dignity, helping individuals choose actions that align with both moral values and practical wisdom. Thank you for listening.